Welcome, everyone, to another episode of FitFam. Today, we're actually going to be diving a little bit deeper, if you watched the last episode, into just some really important concepts about goal setting and the things that happen after that.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be exciting, so stay tuned. This is Miss Natural Olympia at times, Hilary.
Really likes that 5. And this is Doug, the Formulator. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you like what you see here and subscribe.
Also, hit the little bell so you get notified of future podcasts as soon as they come out. And we're real excited about this holiday season and just kind of leading into it. Again, most people don't realize that the average American gains 15 pounds between Halloween and New Year's Day.
Yeah, I don't. I make sure to keep it between Thanksgiving and New Year's.
Oh, okay. You just kind of speed it up. You're always an overachiever.
Always.
But
Holiday Hilary.
Holiday
It's
Hilary.
everyone's favorite Hilary.
No doubt about that. But just kind of goes to the concept, though, of enjoying life. It's about experiences and everything, but also, like you said on the last episode, when you have opportunity, and it's not going to change an experience, man, pick the stuff that's going to improve your health.
Yeah, stay on track with all the things that you can. Don't allow one misstep to make you misstep everything else. Stay on track as much as you can. And, also have grace with yourself. Holidays are meant to be enjoyed. And so I think sometimes we get too down on ourselves, and that's what throws us off on our other habits that are such good habits that carry us through, right? We have a few bad meals or a few extra cookies, and we're like, oh, well, it's not going to matter. I'm not going to do my exercises, or I'm not going to journal. And it just throws us into this weird
spiral
limbo. Yeah. And so just staying on track with the things that you are great at, and understanding that enjoying the holidays and having a few extra treats is normal, and that's okay. And, just few tips and tricks to keep us as healthy as possible through them.
Absolutely. And one thing too that is interesting, it's had people in the past talk about, is saying, hey, we noticed that there's times when you really enjoy yourself even more than if I enjoyed myself that much, I'd gain all this weight and that. And there is a truth, though, to if you live a consistent, disciplined, healthy lifestyle, that when it does come time for the holidays, the birthdays, the treats, and you go off for a bit, it doesn't affect you because your metabolism is so high, it burns that extra fuel. It's that consistency of doing it that then it starts to snuff out that metabolic fire, right? And you start gaining. And so you can get to a point to where your enjoyment times doesn't affect you at all.
Well, yeah, it's either that or it's the other. And we've had clients recently come into this part where they start enjoying some treats and they're like, I don't even enjoy this anymore. It's not even something I want to partake in, because number one, it makes me feel like garbage. And number two, I just don't have the taste for it anymore. I've created such nutrient dense taste buds, if I just termed that I just don't even want them anymore. So
yeah, I like that. And we've had one couple recently say they, instead of enjoying it, when they realize they don't enjoy it like they used to, they curse us. And
yeah, they freaking dug
that's kind of
Hilary.
funny.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about.
I'm not sure why did we go off on that? That's not even what today's
holidays.
podcast is about.
So let's talk about embracing intentions over traditional goals and goal setting. And one of our favorite people talks about this.
Yeah, so Myron Golden talks about this, and what I love about this is he kind of makes it a point of focusing on the intention over the specific goal. And so it kind of controls your habits, right? And your daily to-dos, because your intention for how you're trying to live is so powerful.
Yeah, so let's set it out. Let's say your goal is to lose body fat, right? Or your goal is to build your business, create some financial freedom. Whatever it is, kind of picture whatever that goal is for you. And like Hilary said, start to look at it as the intentions, your pre-decided focuses, the things that you need to focus on. That when you do, it guards your mind from distraction. So that if the goal is fat reduction, that, all right, then I have to decide ahead of time to focus on my nutrition, to not eat the processed foods, not to eat maybe at
Right.
certain places,
And
right?
it
And it's that attention.
Right, and then it makes it so that when you do go grocery shopping or, you bring things into your home, you're very intentional about what does come into your home because you're, focused on the goal of fat loss. And
Right.
so you don't even want to be around it. So intention, I think, is everything. Um,
Well, I like that too, because then even back to your analogy, like when you do go in the grocery store and that what it does is it puts that attention in place so that chaos of seeing the Oreos or seeing those things don't derail you because you already had the intention before you
yeah.
went in, right? So your intention is everything.
Yeah. So Golden teaches that true progress starts with intentional steps forward to a better life. And that's whether you're talking about launching a business, starting a family, improving your health, growing closer to God, whatever that is.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily having a checklist of these extreme details, right? That's not the point of it. It's more of
Yeah, it's optimizing your potential to align with the intention of what you're trying to create.
that's a huge difference. It
Yeah.
really is. It's a mindset
Yeah.
change, right? Because you're like, oh, I have to do this, 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 and this versus overall looking at the big picture. And I like that too, because we're taught even in business, and you have your ultimate goal, no matter what you want to accomplish, and you're steadfast, and that never changes. But you have to be open that the path
Intentional.
is going to
You have
be.
to be,
You have
yeah.
to be intentional of the goal and be open on the path.
Yeah. So, yeah, he basically says because your intentions and all of the things you do because you're being intentional, that success is inevitable and it doesn't feel forced. Where there's always when you're trying to do the check marks, right? Sometimes that feels rigid and forced. Instead of here's my intention and I get to make these choices to grow closer to that, intentional outcome.
Right, and let's even bring it back to the check marks. It changes the check marks. It doesn't mean you shouldn't have a to-do list. Like
Mm-hmm.
our app, right, is phenomenal. Our Healthy Habits Tracker app that you can download, it has check boxes. But if you're looking at those check boxes as my intention to be able to improve my health, to
Right.
have more high performance moments, to increase longevity in my presence with family, to be better, more experiential, then you're like, oh, I'm happily doing these things. Right,
Yeah.
versus it being a rigid check.
Yeah, and so then he leads into this, which is honestly kind of my favorite thing because I feel like I've noticed and seen this so many times in my life, in your life, in our children's lives, when a goal or an intention for a specific way of life has been has been decided on, disruption always follows intention. And I just think
Disruption follows intention. That really is the main point.
yeah, and I think so for some people, they've for example, you've made the commitment to live a healthier lifestyle. Your health is going to be your priority no matter what, that's what's happening. And the next day, a friend comes in from out of town that you haven't seen in years and has made this awesome reservation to this amazing restaurant so that you can try the newest and greatest recipes and desserts and have a few drinks afterwards. That's a disruption, right? That's a disruption to the intention of becoming healthier. And it's meant to be that way. I feel like I mean, maybe it isn't a law, but it feels like that because it's like this side of you or the side of the intention is like, is this what you really want? Show me how much you want it. And show me that you're willing to make a few sacrifices to make it happen.
Right, and it is a law. It's a law that dates back to, if you believe in Christianity, that was even happened with Jesus, and the goals that were set and decisions are to be made, and disruption happens. Right, tempted.
Yes, temptation.
And so I
Mhm.
think that it's one of those things that it has to happen. Now, sometimes that disruption is greater at times than others, but usually it means because your goal was so intent and it has the possibility to touch so many lives that the disruption is greater. And also that once you attain that goal, that there might be some hate along the way, and it might be people close to you. And so you have to be built up. So the disruption's put there in front of you so that you can become stronger, that when you do achieve the success, you're able to hold it and you're able to then inspire others. Because the truth is, success isn't for you. The success is for you to achieve something and go through the process
For who
and
you
let
become.
where you become and the people to see that process so that they will actually be inspired in their life.
Well, and when it is a worthy intention and it's something that you're trying to follow through with, like basically following a worthy intention that was given to you by God, right? It's almost the goal of, do you care more about uh, your commitment to God and how God sees you, or do you care more about how others are looking at you and thinking and talking about you? And so I think that's sometimes kind of the point of that, is to overcome how and what people might think or say about you to get to the next level that you know you're meant to be at.
Absolutely. So I'd like to talk about two examples. We didn't necessarily talk about this, but hopefully it'll flow. The first one is, we did talk about a little bit, is that, we mentioned a lot, and Hilary didn't like mentioning all about her in the last episode, but I think it's so inspiring. But we did mention that there were some things that were wanting to be said. I know I wanted to say, and just the emotion was so strong and felt like I needed to keep it short at the ceremony for your induction to the Hall of Fame, that I really felt strong in preparation for that about talking about disruption follows intention, because I remember when you had made the decision to become a bodybuilder, not just love it, but become a bodybuilder, and did it. I mean, 8 months after Nevaeh was born, you got on stage, you got your pro card, right? It was crazy. And then, wow, we maybe can get to Olympia. We might, what's next? And because you had that intention from a little girl watching Olympia and everything that you've talked about, and put it in place and actually got on stage and like, yeah, that's a real deal. And I feel it. All of a sudden, the disruption that happened um, was crazy. And you stepped away for how many years?
Well, I didn't earn my pro card back then, by the way.
What was the next show? You
Yeah,
just
I just
competed
competed in my first few shows.
10 years? Yeah,
10
exactly
plus.
10.
10 plus.
10 plus years. And Hillary stepped away because the hobby and goal and passion of bodybuilding was that. It was this thing that you can choose to do, but it wasn't and isn't who you are first and foremost as a wife and a mother. And because there were things that came up that demanded the time as a wife and a mother, you stepped away. And I don't remember in 10 years hearing, oh, it just sucks that I had to give that up and woe is me, or any, not one word. Like, I don't remember a word about bodybuilding being like, I sacrificed this for our family. It wasn't even a question. That's one of the beautiful things about that time frame. And then when the time came that the family was in a stable situation again, you stepped back into it and you took last at the Olympia, and then you worked your way up. But
So
you
rude
had,
when you
but
said
you, but you knew what you had to do. You had to make these changes. You had to increase this size and do this and do this, and you learned and you progressed. And it took another, 5 years before he started winning and doing that. And so in your case, for someone to say 5-time Miss Olympia, yeah, but look at the decades literally of time and the disruption that happened in order to achieve this ridiculously phenomenal goal. But we've never seen anyone achieve something great like in that case that didn't have disruption. And it was true in our family and in your
Yeah, I
situation.
think in a lot of ways. I never thought of that one. Thank you. But yeah, we've seen that multiple times for you as well, and for our kids. And I think one of the things that Myron Golden talks about, which is really, really cool, is that he says, instead of allowing disruption to change everything and to stop pursuing the intended goal, he says that he puts his foot on the gas and he speeds into, right?
Streets
The
into the
curve.
corner. Yeah.
He speeds into it. And so sometimes when things happen, I know I tend to have a habit of saying, "Oh, no, this happened. We're not supposed to do it."
Right.
That's a sign we're not supposed to do it. And Doug loves to say, no, it's a sign to show how much we want it. So let's work through this. And I love that too. And I love at the beginning disruption happens, because you become really good at navigating problems. You become really good at, okay, so this things like this could happen, and here's how I'll work through them.
Absolutely.
And so being able to do that at the very beginning of an intended change is really valuable, because what tends to happen is that we will come across more roadblocks as we go, that first one just feels like unexpected for
right,
some
like a
reason.
brick
Each
wall
time
kind
it
of thing.
feels so unexpected. So yeah, learning early how to press the gas and not slam on the brake, and to figure it out, I think is imperative for life in general.
Yeah, and I love that, and I'm gonna, I'm sure I'll get this discussion from Myron, because I'm gonna challenge a little bit of the quote, and this is a big thing for me, because in our marriage, as Hilary just said, she wants to slam on the brakes a lot of times, right? Fear happens and that, and that isn't good, but just as not good is many times me, like, I want to hit the accelerator extra hard immediately,
Like
right?
foot to
Right?
pedal to floor.
And so the thing is,
270 miles.
and the thing
Eject.
is with Myron saying that, the truth of the matter is in racing, okay, so in racing, the true analogy is when you're coming up to an obstacle, a corner, what you do is you do tap the brakes. And I think that's so good, because what we've learned to do is this thing came up and we tap the brakes a little bit. She doesn't let me go full throttle. And I'm like, no, don't just stop. But we have a discussion. And that's tapping the brakes. You never go into a corner in racing full throttle, ever. That's the biggest mistake you can make. So an obstacle comes up in your life, tap the brakes, have communication, and then realize that the majority of the time that disruption really is there to help you focus more and get going. Then you go into the corner and you actually accelerate out. That's the way you do it. And I think for us, that's made a big difference, is we slow down just a little bit, communicate, and then we accelerate out of the corner. And I think that that's really important in life, because you can go too far with this conversation the other way. It was like, nope, just keep going. And you didn't evaluate and say, wait, we need to make a few adjustments as we hit the gas. And also, we shouldn't stop. You like that?
What if I say no?
That was a
Just
good
kidding.
one.
I did actually really like it. I think something else too that you taught me in driving actually is to look when you are hitting that curve, look to the end of the curve, and that'll kind of show you how much you need to play with the steering wheel or play with the brakes, right? So looking at the obstacle, but also looking past the obstacle, where are we at when that happens.
Yeah.
So I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I keep going?
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks. And then here's an iconic quote on handling chaos when the chaos comes on. When disruption comes, I accelerate into the curve. So that's kind of opposite of what you just said.
That's what I'm saying. I'm correcting him. You communicate, tap the brakes, and accelerate out of the curve. And so, and it'll be fun to have that discussion with Myron on our next call, because I think our marriage is a great example of that. And to jump back really quick to the analogy, that analogy of your bodybuilding and stepping away for 10 years, I remember there was two things that were happening in life. That was secondary. That was, you were going to bodybuild and everything. And I think our goals, personal goals, are huge and important. But more important than that was family. And I remember us as together as a couple saying, you know what? We're going to defy the odds. We're going to have the ultimate family and have it last. We came up with forever, no matter what, right? And we're going to do whatever it takes to have the strongest family and marriage and make it last forever. And disruption happened at the biggest level, I think, possible. And during that time, that 10-year period of time, we were put through the refiner's fire as a couple, as a marriage, as a family, financially, physically, many times, the stresses. But coming out of that, the things that have happened since then many times seems like we got this, because we were able to
that's
strengthen
true.
ourselves.
When you overcome a huge disruption, you realize what you're capable of. And you also realize what's truly, truly important. And so I think that's very big.
Very big.
That's very big.
That's very big. Okay.
Okay, so there's that. I like as it's funny that I do like the concept of accelerating into the curve, which, I think maybe your point is to, slow down a bit as you're figuring it out, but once you enter that curve, starting to accelerate as you exit it, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, I love that.
Well, let's kind of close
Yeah.
with that, and just say, look, set your goals, but no disruption is going to happen. It's a part of God's plan, of nature's plan, that it happens no matter what. And look past that. Like Hilary said, always look to the end goal. And as you do that, you'll be able to figure it out, get through those disruptions, realize they're there to make you stronger or to just, verify how much you want that goal. And great things can happen. So,
And intention is more about who you are being to have the intended outcome. So, with your intention, and while goals are huge, we need the goal and we need the checklist as we go. Who we are, I think, is more about the intention. So how do I have to live if this intention is actually present, if that is actually what is coming to fruition? I think that's the whole purpose of goal setting, right? It rarely, when we achieve the goal, is that the reward. The reward is who we've become as we've been trying to attain the goal or the reward. So
great way to end it. As always, this is Miss Natural Olympia Hilary.
And this right here is the Formulator.
Keep chewing.
Oh, and this is his shirt.
1-on-1.
Woo!
Kingsland.